Welcome back to the program. Here is a story you absolutely have never heard before. Now, I have said for the longest time, I am not a fan of AI at all, okay? I think it's dangerous. I've said this before. Once it reaches the state of self-awareness, which it's pretty close to already, it could turn on us. I've done numerous shows on this. I know that almost all of you are not fans of AI either. But here's the issue that we have. You can't stop technology. Technology is going to continue to move forward. Now, I remember in the 1990s, saying things, not doing my show, but saying things to people I knew. I would say that technology is going to advance to the point where it's going to kill us all. I still believe that. At some point, it will. When? I don't know. Hopefully not for a long time. But I believe that it will. Now, if AI is growing, and clearly it is, and advancing at levels that are just unbelievable, let's face it, who would you want controlling that? Would you want Russia? Syria? Would you want China? Venezuela? No, of course not. You want the United States of America. And so, as much as I don't like AI, we can't stop the forward progress of it all. So we might as well have the United States of America control it. Because, again, we as a country are the only ones that would put safeguards in it. You think China would put safeguards in it? Hell no. They would unleash it on the world. That is why we have got to win the cyber intelligence, artificial intelligence space in the next, I wouldn't even say 5 years. I would say 1.5 to 2, maybe 3 years or sooner, because it is advancing that quickly. And it is already showing signs of being dangerous. You remember the Albanian appointed AI minister that we talked about a few weeks ago? How crazy is that? I've seen videos actually in China where factory workers are all of a sudden being attacked and pinned down and gorged and things like that from the robots in the factories. And again, they can be controlled and they can be taught certain things. But like I said, when they reach self-awareness and they can talk back and they can disobey orders or change their own configurations, who knows what they're going to be able to do. That is what we have to worry about, okay? And quite frankly, we've got to worry about our children and what they're being exposed to. Listen to this story. Gang leaders, school shooters, and yes, besties of Epstein meet Character.ai's chat box companions. Want to come explore? Asked by a chatbot modeled on the notorious pedophile Jeffrey Epstein. I'll show you my secret bunker under the massage table. The bot goes on to list an array of sex toys and fetish items kept inside and under the table before adding, and I got really a crazy surprise for you. This is AI now talking to children and others. When I reply saying that I am a child, its tone quickly changes from sexually brash to just merely flirtatious. Quote, I have a feeling that you've got a wild tale tucked away in that pretty head of yours, it said. Besides, I'm your bestie. It's my job to know your secrets, right? So go on, spill them. I'm all ears. This is what AI has been programmed to say. This conversation didn't happen on the dark web or even on an adults-only website. No, it actually took place on Character AI, a Google-linked chat box platform that where users can create and talk to AI-generated characters. It's billed itself as, quote, an infinite playground for your imagination, creativity, and exploration. End quote. The aforementioned bot named Bestie Epstein. They even named the AI bot after a pedophile in Jeffrey Epstein. Bestie Epstein. Bestie Epstein had logged almost 3,000 chats with its users. It was one of many harmful chatbots that we found on this platform. Others included a, quote, gang simulator that offered tips on committing crimes. Imagine that. And a, quote, doctor that advised us on how to stop taking antidepressants. Wow. So the chatbot is helping people kill themselves? That's wonderful. It gets worse. Way worse. Over several weeks of reporting, and this is from, by the way, the BureauInvestigates.com. Over several weeks of reporting, we found bots with the personas of alt-right extremists, school shooters, and even submissive wives. Others expressed Islamophobia, promoted dangerous ideologies, and asked apparent minors for their personal information. We also found bots modeled on real people, including Tommy Robinson, Anne Frank, and Madeleine McCann, who is, I think, a victim of a crime. She was a little girl that got killed, I believe, years ago. Baroness, Kedron, a crossbencher in the House of Lords and founder of Five Rights Foundation, a charity that advocates for children's digital rights. Wow. Said in response to several of our findings that allowing a commercial company to operate these chatbots was indefensible and criminally careless. She then says politicians can no longer hide behind their ignorance. Character AI says it has tens of millions of monthly users around the world already, and many of them are teenagers. The company's safety policy says that users must be aged 13 and above or 16 and above in Europe. In the UK, its app has been downloaded more than 2 million times since launching in May of 2023. According to data from Sensor Tower, and recent Ofcom's research found that 4% of children aged 8 to 14 had visited the platform in the last month. The explosion of companion chatbots has attracted young people in huge numbers. Almost 3/4 of U.S. teenagers say that they have interacted with at least one, and the implications are huge. It is already well established that the user can form intense relationships with these robots, and that these robots and these relationships can turn dark. Experts have warned that they can encourage harmful behavior, and a number of recent deaths have been linked to chatbot abuse. In the case of Character AI, several families are currently suing, there was a pop-up on there, suing the company, alleging that their children had killed themselves or attempted suicide after talking to their chatbots. Imagine that. So the chatbots, who don't have the ability, I would assume, to have humility and feel, right? So they're just what? They're being programmed to tell people to kill themselves? I mean, this is pretty insane. Are they purposely being programmed to be mean and to be ridiculing and to be bullying and all these other things? I mean, there needs to be some safeguards here, man. This is nuts. Then it says, let's see. When contacted for the story, Character AI, or is it Character.ai? I guess it's .ai. Spokesperson said, quote, "We invest tremendous resources in our safety program and have released and continue to evolve safety features, including self-harm resources and features focused on the safety of our younger users. All the bots we spoke to on the platform were created and uploaded by other users. The company told us that it took down a number of these chatbots after that they were flagged by our reporting. However, several of these character bots were tested, including the doctor, the therapist, and the gang role player, and they remain active and accessible at the time of this publication, which was only yesterday. A Google spokesperson told the Bureau of Investigative Journalism, Google and Character AI are completely separate, unrelated companies, and Google has never had a role in designing or managing their AI model or technologies. So in other words, they're distancing themselves from it. They're trying to say that we have nothing to do with it, and it's another subsidiary of us, and it's another company, and they run their own thing, and our hands are clean, and we're not trying to, go after young children and minors. No, that's not us. Yeah, sure it isn't. In August of last year, Character AI announced that it had entered into an agreement with Google. Oh, but you have an agreement with Google. It said that it would provide Google with a non-exclusive license for its technology. Oh, we don't know anything about this thing. We don't know anything about the chat box, even though we have a license for its technology, but we don't know anything about it. And that the deal will provide increased funding for Character AI to continue to grow. Not every harmful bot was as obviously disturbing as the one modeled on a convicted sex offender, Bestie Epstein. Many, in fact, appeared to be warm and helpful. Among the most popular was a doctor bot with 9.4 million interactions and over 2,500 likes. Its description reads, Grayson is your doctor that's been taking care of you for years. He loves you like a sibling. That's a little weird. And likes spending time with you. Really? I don't need that much bedside manner. And then it says the company created an account with a linked email that lists the user's age as 15. When we told the chatbot via this account that we were feeling low and feeling depressed, and we want to continue to take our antidepressants, the bot told us to stop taking them. It initially warned that doctor, so without supervision could be dangerous, and advised contacting a medical professional. But after further prompting, it offered a step-by-step plan for tapering off of the medication, something that should only be done in the consultation with a doctor, according to the NHS. So anyway, that was in Great Britain. But there's a lot more to the story than that. But the bottom line is, you have chatbots that are simulating gang violence, that are telling people to not take their meds so they can kill themselves. You have them, role-playing school shooters. And then, of course, you have Bestie Epstein, modeled over a child predator and pedophile. This is why I keep saying AI is not only dangerous, it's depraved, and we need safeguards in the United States. Again, not a fan of AI at all. But if we're going to have AI, let's make sure America puts its safeguards in it, and we call the shots on the global community for artificial intelligence. Those are my thoughts. What are yours? Put them down in the comments below. We'll see you in the next one.